My lived experience with suicide in particular was my mother and then my stepbrother. When it first happened, it kind of, flipped your life upside down a bit, and you just kind of don't know which way is up. I guess losing my mother at 19 was a bit of a shock to the system. At a young age, I think dealing with things like Christmas and Mother's Day and leaving the Navy, I think, was some pretty big challenges. And then just trying to stay conscious and not think about it all the time, and blame myself and just realise that unfortunately that was my mother's choices and not mine. That was the biggest challenges, was just trying to get back to a normality. I'd learnt to be pretty stoic from being in the armed services. So I did most of the stuff myself for my family. I had to be there for my dad and my stepdad and my little brother because somebody had to step up to the plate. So I just had this innate being that this was my time to be there. I felt that remembering her in a positive outlook was the best thing for me, rather than to be all in despair. And I felt like remembering my mother and the good times we had was the easiest thing for me. My two best friends, Daniel and Luke, they didn't leave my side. They were just there every day, and they sort of championed me in a sense of like just keeping me active and keeping me out in the water surfing, going camping, and it's not like trying to forget about it, but they just really kept me positive and reiterated the fact that they love me. And so that was, those two guys were, I couldn't thank them enough. I feel like when you go through this kind of stuff, having too many people in your space, you kind of you shut down. Not so much talking, but just listening, I feel is huge. Not telling them I know how you feel, but the nod of the head or sort of thing, rather than exacerbating their space and getting in, sort of their areas, just is stepping back and sort of comforting them in a sense. You got two ears and one mouth, and sometimes it's good just to listen. I think conversation is key when the time is right for people. It's definitely up to them when that time is. It's not a grief that can be rushed. It's just to be present, and maybe subtle encouragement. I find it can be as little as a hand on the shoulder and that human touch, an interaction of that. Know that somebody is there for them, because it is a pretty lonely space to be in. I feel like having somebody there comforting you and reassuring you is a beautiful thing. Just recently, in December, losing my stepbrother was a bit different, I guess, because I'd had, doesn't make it any easier, but in a sense it does, because I've built some coping mechanisms around that, and some self-care stuff that I've sort of implemented in my own life to make sure that I was okay. For my little brother, it was his best mate, basically, and very hard to see him go through that grief again, because he dealt with it a little bit differently to me. He might have just swept it under the rug, whereas I could see it straight away. I was like, wow, this is where I need to be a big brother and be there, and not necessarily do everything for him, but let him know that I'm there. and I'm there and I've got his back and I'm not going anywhere. So he's not on his own. Your innate being as a human is to help, especially when you see somebody else in need, is to reach out. So I'm glad I was very privileged to have people like that.